Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a lovely day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your comments, and thank you for your thumbs up. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. So on the screen here, we have two African women, one from Kenya and one from Nigeria. Now, these two young women are very accomplished in their chosen fields, and they both live in America, either full-time or part-time. And the interesting thing about these two women is that even though they came to the United States as grown women, they didn't know they were Black. Now, this is one of the things that's really annoying to me. They come to the United States and let a white person put a mic in their face in the name of interviewing them. And one of the things that they really want the white person to know is that they didn't know they were Black. They didn't become Black until they got to the United States of America. Now, I think they do that to distance themselves from us, from Black Americans. They want those white people to say, okay, they are different. They are different than these Black Americans. They are so much better than these Black Americans. I really believe that that is why they do that. Otherwise, why are they doing it? They don't say it to Black people, but they are quick to say it to white people. And that is to impress white people, because they're not able to impress the white people who live in their homelands in Kenya and Nigeria. Those white people separate themselves from them. So when they come to the United States, they expect to assimilate into white society, because everybody knows the get down between Black and white Americans. We have a thing going, but we have a different relationship than they have with relationship with white people in their homeland. But we have a better understanding of the white people in the United States than they will ever have, because the relationship between Black and white Americans, especially Southern Black and white Americans, is very tricky. And if you don't know, you don't know. But they've sucked the blood out of their homelands, meaning they've gotten everything they could out of their homelands. And instead of staying there and building up their communities, they run. They run to the United States trying to impress white people who might be impressed for a season. But we know how white people are. At a given time, they're going to show you who they really are. But they are hopeful that they're going to make it in America with these white people. They're not able to impress the white people over there, because the white people that are over there in Africa with them know what they are really about. But they get what little education they can and drain everything they can from their homeland. Then they show up here as a bunch of phonies. And then they begin the clown twerking up to white people with their heavy accents to emphasize that they're not from America like those Black Americans. And they are bragging about their degrees. They went to Harvard. They went to Yale. They went to this place, and they majored in nothing. And thinking that the white people, who are just as phony as they are impressed with them. But they don't know they're Black. But now, the Africans who tell the truth, and there are Africans who absolutely tell the truth about them, will tell you that they are lying. They do know they're Black. They know they are called Black where they came from, because white people are over there in Africa, and everywhere they go, wherever they see anything Black, they're going to call you Black. So they do know they're Black. They're not doing anything but lying. And then Lupita got her Oscar playing in 12 Years a Slave, playing an enslaved woman in the United States of America. And I remember her being interviewed at the Oscars, and they asked her, who was she excited about meeting at the Oscars? Oh, Cate Blanchett. She wanted to meet Cate Blanchett, a white British actress. Now, that's who she was impressed with, even as she had parasited off of Black Americans. She wasn't interested in Black Americans at all. She didn't see any value in Black Americans, even though she had taken a role that should have gone to a Black American actress. So that is what I mean. They're a bunch of phonies. Cate Blanchett was not interested in meeting her. When white people migrate to the United States from Europe and Australia and other places where white people live, and they benefit from what white people have accomplished, they are respectful of the white people. They don't dismiss white people and say, oh, I want to meet some black person or some Asian person or some Indian person. They give the white people the respect that they deserve. But black people who come here don't do that. And we have been watching them for longer than they realized. They didn't realize they were being watched. Black Americans have been watching these parasites for years. And now when black people say they're delineating, they're upset because now they see the handwriting on the wall. The leeching is going to come to an end. Because one thing about white folks, they don't play like that. You come over here trying to disrespect them, they'll hand you your ass in a minute. But see, we have been too nice. But with this other one right here, this Nigerian, this Chimamanda woman, even the people in Nigeria talk about her. I remember being on Twitter with a Nigerian woman, and she said she couldn't stand Chimamanda because they come back to Africa acting like they are better than the Africans. You see, they go home trying to elevate themselves. Now, this woman is a writer, and she is a good one. She's a good writer. I have read several of her books. She writes about Nigeria in the United States, but she is a good writer. And she goes all around speaking. They have her speaking here and speaking there, and she's an authority on black people and how black people feel and Africans and all that blah, blah, blah stuff that nobody's interested in when she's in Africa. They only become interested in these people when they come to the United States. But they are using the agency and the advocacy of black Americans because everywhere else they go, folk are trying to run them out. They don't want Africans in their country. But when they come to the United States, they're special. And then they'll be talking about being black, but they didn't know they were black. They didn't know they were black. They must not have a mirror. I guess they don't have mirrors in Africa where you can look in the mirror and see what you look like. I do not trust people like this, and they show us every time they open their mouth that they are not to be trusted. They are not our people, and we have to consider that. We don't need any more friends. We have all the friends we need. Who we really need to be talking to, not being friends with, but talking to is white people. Because at the end of the day, that's who we've been here in this country with. That's who we built this country with. And that is who will have to give us our reparations and restoration when we get it. And I say when because I believe it will happen. These people are nothing but a distraction. They need to go home and build their countries and work with their people and stop running because they're not any good to anybody. Their own people can't trust them, and we can't either. I can't stand this. There are good African immigrants. I'm not saying they're all like that, because when they first started coming over here, we didn't see this. We didn't see this. We didn't see the need to delineate. But there is a need to delineate now because people don't respect us, and they don't respect the struggle, and they don't respect what it took to get this country to the point that it's at without any help from them. They don't respect it. And they don't respect the people. I don't even think they respect white people. I don't think they respect anybody, including themselves. Because anytime you're looking like that and you come over here and see people who look something about like you and they say we're black, instead of them just keeping their mouths shut, they want to run up to somebody else and say, I'm not like those people. I'm not black. Well, you're not black. And now, I guess y'all have noticed now, so many of them are now trying to claim they're black. Now that black Americans are saying, no, you're actually not black because you're not from this soil. So you're not black. Now they're claiming to be black. These two, the crowd, their crowd is the crowd that were claiming they weren't black. All of them were saying they weren't black until they decided they were black because they saw there was no benefit in the United States to them not being black. Because at the end of the day, nobody cares about them being African. Because if they cared about Africa, Africa would be in a better shape than it's in now. Okay, y'all, so thank you for listening. But I'm really not ranting. I'm just stating what I consider to be facts about phonies. Okay, thanks for listening. Have a good day.